Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to Madden 18 on EA Sports. We've got a good one on tap today, and there's going to be two quarterbacks ready to get it done on the gridiron. It's the Packers going up against the Lions.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL sends us to the state of Michigan as we are inside Ford Field in downtown Detroit. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. A little juke. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he's going to get this across the 20 as he's out of bounds at the 23. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. A big gain there on the first play of the game. 54 yards. They had trouble stopping the run last week in a loss, and here it rears its ugly head early.
You're supposed to try and get your confidence going after a loss like that where you gave up big yards running the football. This is not the way to go about it. It looks exactly as it did just a week ago.
A solid pickup of 13 sets him up first and goal. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can.
And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Packers take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. And it's good to make it 7-0 Packers. And they do exactly what they wanted to. Opening drive, they get into the end zone. They do it on the ground.
And not only is the person lugging the ball happy, of course, because he got it into the end zone. How about the offensive linemen and receivers who are blocking for him? They have to feel great about themselves, sticking it in the end zone on a running play.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And on this offensive unit, one guy that's proven himself early in the NFL is Eric Ebron.
A very reliable target for a quarterback. They always love tight ends because they're right in their sight lines. If you get it to this guy, though, he can take it the distance.
So second and medium, 2nd and 5 now.
Let's go!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. It's complete to Chris Conley. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Kenny Clark able to use that strength and get him for a loss of 2. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
And they get him behind the line, so that short gain on first down quickly negated. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. They'll set up to throw. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Montravius Adams in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Fielded at the 20. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard. Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
One thing about talent, it travels in the NFL, and Martellus Bennett, no matter where he plays, no matter what uniform he puts on, he plays at a Pro Bowl level. Strong, fast, smart, able to get down the middle of the field and also work on the perimeter to make big catches and provide an excellent target for his quarterback.
9 yards still remaining here to pick up the first on 2nd down. Now they try the right side here. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. Now a handoff as they run left side. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, if for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. An update from that game going on in the Meadowlands. The Jets out to the early lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here.
Let's go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Ebron caught left side. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, second down. And a peek at the defense for the Packers.
I saw Jake Ryan in a postseason all-star game after a great career at the University of Michigan. I actually asked a couple of scouts what they thought. And they thought he'd be a marginal prospect in the NFL. Well, he's one of the most improved players in the league. A starter at linebacker for Green Bay. Seems to make just about every tackle in the running game.
Second down following the run. Then they give this time to the tailback. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football...
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They've got a third down and 5 to start things out.
Here we go.
He'll look to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Gordon. And he is going to be knocked flat on his back. Oh, a big hit right near the 39.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, he'll have to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, churning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal. On third down, these guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable third down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays.
23 yards on the play.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Now a play fake here on first down. And that is incomplete here. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And a solid run down inside the 30. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they've bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
On third down, it's Swanson. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive only yields 3 points.
Yeah, they were able to move the football, but the defense stiffened once their backs were to the end zone, and they were able to hold them to just 3.
This is fielded at the goal line. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no...
Now look out, Rodgers lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because... This is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him, Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So it can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. No chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Rodgers will try again on second down. Caught by Montgomery. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
In the pocket, chucked it away. Flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field. Have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jarrett Davis. Tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. It gets it over the middle to Cobb. And they'll get him to the ground, but he got all the way down to the 30-yard line. And give him a gain of 37.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Sheldon Richardson in there to sack him for a loss of 6. 26. Now Rodgers throwing on second down. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Larry Ridley is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. Hard throw, incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. So here come the Lions now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. And now the Packers going to take another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The Lions on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Now a handoff here to his running back. Shedding the tackle. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. An NFL update. They're in the second quarter in Baltimore. The Patriots, they've opened a 2-touchdown advantage in that one. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. Fielded at the 33. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. And, you know, their previous possession, they were able to move the football, but still wound up punting in the end.
You know, in 2016, Carolina had a 20-play drive that lasted over 10 minutes. And remember how it ended?
In a punt.
Yeah, I mean, how does that happen? You just don't see that happen every day.
And this one maybe not quite that bad, but still, you'd like to have a chance for points if you hold the football that long.
Agreed.
Slot man moves right. They go play action here on first down. They'll roll him out right. Lets it fly deep for Cobb. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Randall Cobb, his second touchdown on the season. And the Packers are able to strike quickly for 6. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Laundry on the field. This is going to be a false start on the offense.
Sometimes you have to slow things down a little bit when things get heated. The cadence has to be slow and deliberate at times to make sure your team's ready to go.
It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. The Lions on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. He'll look to throw. And able to find Conley. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard at the 38-yard line.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
He'll drop to throw. Caught here by Conley. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Defensively, they just lost him. He was waving his arms saying, I'm wide open. They found him.
Yeah, and it's so interesting about when a receiver starts to wave his arms because some guys, right off the line of scrimmage, they declare themselves open. You know, those guys throw the one arm up, hit me right now. In this case, he was so wide open that he was frantically trying to get his attention to make sure he got the football. And then I'm sure his only thought when the ball was in the air, don't drop it. Had too much time to think.
And the defense definitely showing blitz here. They're going to look to throw. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. Kenny Clark in there to drop him for a loss on the play. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. Chris Conley, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
An NFL update. They're in the 2nd quarter in Baltimore. Patriots continuing to roll, opening their lead up even further. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to send this one deep right side. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll see. All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you.
And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Montravius Adams in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Back to throw. Ebron's got it. Got some room at the 30. A good pickup there at 22.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys. But you and I both know that's easier said than done. When the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. On play action, they'll throw. He'll find his man on the comeback route, complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 5.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And a 2nd field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here's the Packers offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
On second down, here's Rodgers. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And now here's a carry heading left. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
The Packers on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Rodgers going to throw. Finds his target, Montgomery. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That goes for a gain of 31.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll be a 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. Touchdown, Packers. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
They'll set up a throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And down he'll go at the 25. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. This is taken at about the 14. A big hit. Knocked down sideways at the 15-yard line. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. He'll buy some time right. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's out of bounds, but not before a big pickup that time on what's going to wind up being the final play of the... Back now at Ford Field. It's Packer football here as they've got the lead as well to begin the 4th quarter. They'll send the tight end Bennett in motion. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And this is caught at the 8. That one goes for 36 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now a handoff working right. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that'll make it 2nd and goal. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. A great effort there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Packers add on to their lead.
We know that the big guys won't get the credit, Brandon, but we also know that that touchdown belongs to them. Excellent job of clearing the way for their running back.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Looking sideline, incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
They'll look to throw here. And that is incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
Let's go. 3-19.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick, and the return across midfield into the 46-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. I think this defense tired of seeing him run the football, and this D-line probably getting sick of the O-line as well.
And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking about a conversation I had with Adam Gase, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in the offseason. He told me that he asked his running backs each week for their favorite run.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jared Davis.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all out if you don't catch the ball.
Been that kind of game throwing the football so far. Nothing going right offensively. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. They're giving those short little routes, tackled him in bounds too. They're just not wanting to get beat over the top.
Yeah, and if you can't really get downfield, take the short routes. But now you got to have guys who can actually break tackles and increase those gains.
To the right side to Eric Ebron. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And now running right through it. And eventually taken down, but how about that athletic spin move we saw? Gives them the first down yardage. 2 yards is the pickup, and the Lions are going to have a first.
Oh, he's not going to get it by much, but on 4th and 1, all you're worried about is moving the sticks. And here he's able to fight his way forward for a couple of yards, and that's all he needed.
Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, his intended target. That'll bring up second down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now back to throw. And he connects with Ebron. And he is knocked down from the side at the 36. A gain of 11 and a first down. Looking to throw. And some room to maneuver. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Now they got to get to the line quickly. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and that'll make this a second down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
What a job by this defense all game long. They've come together and really said, no one's crossing our goal line, and they're definitely not going to start right now.
You can just see the dejection. Feel like nothing is working offensively. And it's caught and out of bounds all the way down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
Now let's go.
Back to throw here. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
False start, offense.
They expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Now let's go.
He'll look to throw. And that's incomplete.
And that was a nice play. He knocked it away, but obviously you want the interception in this situation. You want to take away any chance and they have any decision to make on fourth down. But things happen so quickly in the end zone in this compressed area of the field that you're just happy to knock it away and not allow a touchdown.
A fourth quarter score from the Meadowlands. And it was the Jets coming away victorious there. A win would be their second on the young season. This is fielded at the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a third and about 4. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you prime the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Packers, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And they will head home next week to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everyone, from Ford Field.
Montana.